All right, hello wine drinking people. Today is Thursday, July 7th. And please let me know if you like our new format for the email, sending out one email about each subject. And then you can decide, hey man, I'm not interested in white wine from Alsace. What the heck do I want to watch that for? Well, it would have been buried in one of our former emails here. And just trying to be a little more effective in how we categorize things and how we pique your interest. And usually the subject line of the email is what people tend to read. So just let us know what you think about this. But hey, this is an event that we had last week. One of the great producers of Alsace, Friday night. And I always like to review the wines that we drink here in the store and at events. And this was a rare opportunity to be able to try several of the 2009 vintage wines, new releases, alongside of a vintage that's got a couple years of bottle age, 2007. You know, these wines, when they're released, the great whites of Alsace, definitely a little edgy, a little hard for some people to get into. They can be a little sweet for some people's palate. They have some residual sugar in them, but they have bracing acidity. One of the things that you need in a wine that's going to last a long time. So when these wines are young, they can be a little bit edgy, a little bit hard to digest. And, you know, the 2007s really showed, you know, what these wines can turn into in just a short period of time. And they do live, like I said, you know, for a very long time. Riesling being one of the longest lived grape varietals that there is. All right, well, the 2009 Sylvaner was what we started with. That's the name of the grape. And this wine had some lovely fresh apple and pear-like fruit with a hint of orange blossom and wet stone-like quality. Really fresh and clean with a texture of skim milk. And really nice minerality and persistence through the finish. Bit of a tart lime citrus there. Really nice 2009 Riesling Reserve Personnel. This is kind of like their I don't want to say entry-level cuvee because, you know, these wines are all very limited. They produce a tiny amount of wine. I saw producer Domaine Weinbach, you know, just a day ago and tasted through their line. They cover 35% of the market share in this country. Weinbach, I think, would be less than 1%, or maybe not 1%, I'm sorry, 1% of Alsace, but a tiny percentage compared to a big producer like a Trimbach. All right, well, the Reserve Riesling Personnel had this incredible pretty bouquet of orange blossoms, hibiscus flowers, peach, a slight chalk-like nuance, thick and viscous on the palate with a bit of shy flower. Kind of right after opening, you need a little bit of time for this to open up. I got to watch these wines open up all day as I opened up at around 12 o'clock in the afternoon and started tasting them. But long, a really long finish and lovely concentration on this wine. Has all the right stuff, just needs a little time or a little goat cheese. I find that really helps to open up these Rieslings. All right, the 2009 Domaine Weinbach Riesling Cuvée Theo, which this is wine, there's no Premier Cru in Alsace. So you have Grand Cru, you have Village Wine, and that's it. So the Cuvée Theo is, I don't want to say like a Premier Cru kind of level with this winery, but maybe that's what you could compare it to. A lovely, lightly perfumed kind of peach and tangerine-like citrus fruit on the nose with distinct, that chalk-like minerality really showing through there. Lovely focus wine on the palate with laser-like acidity and freshness. Really tongue-tingly and long, and man, still a baby, but has all the right stuff. Again, that chalk-like minerality lasting all the way through the finish. All right, next up, the big boy, the Schlossberg Grand Cru, and this wine had a lightly toasted kind of oat nuance to the lemon, citrus fruit, quince, pineapple, and fresh white flowers. Slight chalky kind of minerality showing on this wine as well. Fresh and bright on the tongue, quite a bit layered with a lot of minerals there, and a lovely zesty finish, cascading really long and needs time. Again, excellent juice here. The 2007 starting to show a little bit of that petrol on the nose that you get from Riesling after it's had a couple years of bottle age, and lovely candied pineapple and grapefruit citrus, along with some peach and apricot. Really concentrated bouquet, even right after opening. But big and round on the palate, lots of that ripe citrus and tree fruit showing, tongue-tingly acidity, very long and fresh, still quite youthful, but showing, like I said, a little bit of that evolved petrol note coming in on the finish as well. Most excellent juice. All right, next up, the Indonais, and this is a tiny, small section of Schlossberg that they harvest later. And wow, what incredible intensity on the nose. And lovely honeyed character to this as well. Peach, ripe, delicious apple, quince, a little nutmeg spice, and kind of a salted butter nuance. Really lovely, still quite youthful on the palate. That slight slate minerality quality showing. Lots of lovely fruit, though, again, and great acidity, keeping things firmly in place. A little bit of that honey character. Some sweetness showing, but dry on the finish and really long. Most excellent juice. All right, the Pinot Gris, and Pinot Gris tend to be a little sweeter, but they have that wonderful acidity to balance them out. Some of the people, once they get to the Pinot Gris, they notice that extra residual, that extra ripeness in the wines. And this wine is produced from the old vines at the Clos de Capuchin's vineyard. It's very tightly wound, fresh pineapple, lime, citrus fruit, shown along with that chalk-like mineral nuance and some fresh white floral notes. Really lovely richness on the tongue. That lychee quality starting to show there, and really pretty stuff. Most excellent Pinot Gris, the Cuvée Catherine 09. And then the 07, showing a little more of a nutty and kind of a peat note. Definitely more evolved, some peach and candy, grapefruit, citrus. Very complex, lovely richness here on the palate with a tangy, kind of salty character showing on the finish, and that savory grapefruit citrus as well. Really nice, balanced sweetness and acidity there. Most excellent juice as well. The Gewürztraminer Cuvée Theo. Man, once you get to the Gewürztraminers, these are the powerhouses of Alsace. Very pretty nose, perfumed rose petals, lavender, white pepper, peach, lychee nut. Really rich, a lovely peppery spice also showing on the tongue to that floral perfume and that lovely peach and lychee fruit. A lot of fruit, but lovely balanced acidity and a note of white pepper spice coming in through on the finish there. Very good stuff. And then the first time Gewürztraminer Grand Cru, man, more distinct pepperiness here to the nose, and white and green peppercorn, almost a green tomato-like nuance to that peach. A bit of a shy flower kind of on the nose, but man, lovely richness on the palate here. Lots of sweetness, peach and quince, like candied fruit, and because of that fresh green pepper spice showing up on the finish again. Most excellent juice. And thank you, Phil Getson, for bringing the vintage Tardif Altenburg. Wow, in a word, most excellent killer juice. And 2005, still a baby, but thanks. What a rare treat. They don't even have these vintage Tardif wines available for us to sell you, but I was assured that they would get us a list of things from the SGN and VT category that were available in this country. All right, and that's what I had to drink yesterday at the Domaine Weinbach event. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.